Hi, welcome to our RPL Students Step-by-Step webinars. In this session today we're going to take a look at navigating aXcelerate. So aXcelerate is our student management system that holds all of our compliance information. So it holds all information regarding students, student progression through the course and completion, and also information regarding trainers' qualifications to make sure that they're up to date and to make sure that they're experienced enough to be teaching you the Certificate 3 in individual support. Okay, let's take a look at navigating around your home screen. So here we are in the recognition of prior learning program. We can always click on home to get back to our home screen by clicking just here. Let's take a look at some of the actions of these buttons down the side here. So if ever you get lost and you need to get back to your learning content, we can always press Home, Course Overview, Learning Plan, and that will always take us back to that screen here to access our learning. Now, you may want to click on the announcements. There may be an announcement from your trainer that might be listed here, or from National Office. So you can find any announcements that are listed under this tab here. In the resources section you can find information about course resources, unit of competency resources, and specific learner resources as well. So there may be one specific document that you'd like, and rather than going into the main learning plan, you can access it here. You can scroll down and take a good look at all of the information here. Now, the learner resources here, so you'll find this bank of videos that we're currently recording. You'll find those listed here, and some other useful information as well. So there's some application forms, information about fees and payments, some marketing, a consent release form, and some further documentation there. So you might like to download the Certificate 3 learning pathway, and you can also refresh yourselves on the content of the student handbook by pressing the button there and downloading it. So other information that we can find, if we go back to our home screen there, so we've been in the resources, we can have a look at payments. So when we click on here, if an invoice has been sent out to you, you'll see that listed here, and any information about payment or outstanding fees will be listed here as well. Now we can also go into our assessment results to see a quick action of how we've been progressing. So with our test student here, we can see that our student is progressing through the recognition of prior learning course quite nicely. So they've completed the declaration and they've completed section A as well. And you can break this down specifically by looking at all of those assessments which are satisfactory, all of those which will require a second attempt, and any submissions which you've submitted for marking but they haven't yet been marked by your trainer. You'll find those listed here. So remember, to get back to our learning content, it's course overview and learning plan. So we'll look at learning plan in just a second, but let's take a look at the units. So this breaks down the 13 units of competency that you'll be studying. So you'll be training on in the Cert 3 and also being assessed on as part of the recognition of prior learning. And each one is individually listed here. So let's take a look at the first one. So provide individualised support. Now when you open it up, it breaks it down into a lot more information here. So you can find out the exact elements and performance criteria by going deep down into each of these levels and finding out exactly what it is that we'll be training and assessing you on. So let's go back to that learning content. So remember, course overview, learning plan, and here we can find the scaffold of our learning, if you like. So if we click on here, it just gives us a little welcome message telling us about the RPL program. And we can start to really look at what's going on with our learning and how it's viewed here. So again, another little welcome message. Now you can find your recognition of prior learning resources here. There's a kit that you can download, so it's exactly the same information as what you'd find on aXcelerate, but some people just like a hard copy available in front of them, and that's absolutely fine. But please do be guided by your trainer as to how they would like you to submit your particular documentation. They may well like it submitted in a digital copy rather than you completing it in a hard copy and then them having to scan it and upload it. So let's take a look at the actual structure of the course now. Now the RPL program is broken up into 3 sections, and we've also got a learning declaration as well. Now, each of our subsequent webinars will explain each of these steps in a little bit more detail, but essentially what we need to do first is go into our recognition of prior learning declaration and complete that. So the declaration is a statement saying that everything that you're submitting is your own work and you completed it yourself, and you're not passing off somebody else's documentation as your own, essentially. It's also asking you to complete an application form and a cover sheet as well. So please look at our next webinar for details on how to look at this declaration in a little bit more detail. And we can also see that our student here has gone ahead and they've also completed section A. So section A is looking at the student mapping their own skills and experience against the requirements of the Certificate 3. And then we've got section B. So section B is the main part of the recognition of prior learning programme. So this is where you'll find the 25 separate pieces of documentation that need to be submitted as evidence of your prior learning and experience related to the Certificate 3 in individual support. And finally, we've got section C, which is a competency conversation. So once everything else has been accumulated together and it's been passed by your trainer, you'll book in for a conversation with your trainer to align all of those beautiful skills and that experience that you've had working in a community, home and ageing environment. And your trainer is just going to make sure that each of your skills align to the specific requirements of the Cert 3. And once you've done that, that's your Certificate 3 finished. Well done.